Tonight on Fuel Up Daily, the Canadian Grand Prix just got a lot more interesting. Lance Stroll has been cleared to race, but the story behind the scenes reveals just how close Aston Martin came to replacing him. And you won't believe what plan they had lined up. Stick with us, because what we're about to reveal could change how you see the whole F1 weekend. Welcome back to Fuel Up Daily, your go-to source for everything Formula One, from lightning-fast updates to deep-dive drama. Today, we're zeroing in on Aston Martin and their just-confirmed lineup for the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix. Yes, it's official. Lance Stroll is fit to race in his home Grand Prix. But the path to that confirmation, full of twists, tension, and what-if scenarios that nearly reshuffled the Aston Martin garage. Let's set the stage. Racing in front of a home crowd always brings extra pressure. For Lance Stroll, Montreal is more than just another race. It's a personal proving ground. But that pressure doubled after the sudden events in Barcelona. Just hours before the race in Spain, Aston Martin made the shocking call. Stroll would withdraw. Wrist pain, stemming from a long-standing injury, had flared up again. That injury, dating back to a nasty cycling crash in 2023, had already left him with fractures, surgery, and even metal screws. Despite trying to power through the pain during practice and qualifying, his team, and likely Stroll himself, knew he wasn't race-ready. And here's where it gets intense. Aston Martin had no backup ready who had taken part in the sessions. That left Fernando Alonso alone to carry the flag. Later in the episode, how close did Felipe Drugovich come to making a last-minute race debut? The answer will surprise you. After pulling out of the Spanish Grand Prix, Stroll immediately underwent a wrist procedure in Barcelona. But not just any procedure. This was performed by one of MotoGP's top specialists. The goal? Get him back to 100% in just days. Fast forward to a closed test session at Paul Ricard. There, in a private run, Stroll reportedly showed the pace, stamina, and, more importantly, the comfort to push the car without hesitation. Team doctors gave the green light, and today, Aston Martin made it public. Lance Stroll will race in Canada. I was always going to fight hard to be back for Montreal. This race means everything. Thanks to everyone for the support. While the media spotlight was focused on Stroll's fitness, Aston Martin quietly prepared a plan B. Actually, they prepared two. Both reserve drivers, Felipe Drugovich and Stoffel Vandoorne, were lined up as possible replacements. But there was a catch. Both were already committed to the 24 hours of Le Mans the same weekend. Would Aston Martin really pull a driver away from endurance racing to jump into a Formula One seat mid-weekend? According to internal sources, talks were underway. Timing was everything. And had Stroll's test gone differently, we might have seen a very different grid. Stroll returning means Aston Martin can field a full two-car attack in Canada. That's big. The team needs points, and fast. Right now, Stroll sits 12th in the driver standings, with 14 points. Compare that to teammate Fernando Alonso, who's carrying much of the team's weight. But in Canada, it's all hands on deck. With a full lineup, Aston Martin can finally aim to outscore rivals like Alpine and RB, and maybe, just maybe, push toward Mercedes' shadow. Enjoying the story so far? Hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. Before moving ahead, here's a question for you. Do you know which team introduced the controversial double diffuser in 2009? Answer in comments to show your F1 knowledge. Don't underestimate the power of the home crowd. For Stroll, this race is emotional. It's redemption. It's motivation. And for Aston Martin, it's brand power, sponsor exposure, and national support all rolled into one. Lawrence Stroll, team owner and Lance's father, will be watching closely. He knows the value of Montreal, not just in points, but in PR. Coming up, helmet drama, surprise pit lane moments, and a mysterious late-night meeting at the Aston Martin motorhome. It's all next. You've been watching Fuel Up Daily, where we don't just report the F1 news, we fuel your racing obsession. Subscribe now and get ready. You won't want to miss what's next. So far, we've seen Stroll's dramatic recovery, the team's quiet Plan B operations, and the weight of national pride in play. Now let's look at what happened behind the scenes and what it means long-term. Let's start with the rumors. Reports from Spanish media suggest that after qualifying in Barcelona, Stroll slammed his helmet on the garage floor, visibly frustrated, likely in pain. Team insiders said nothing at the time, but whispers of a deep concern about his comfort level started to circulate. That's when the night meeting happened. At approximately 11:30 p.m. Saturday night, a closed-door meeting was held at the Aston Martin motorhome. Only top personnel and 2 unnamed advisors attended. We can now confirm it was then the final call was made to withdraw Stroll. Now let's talk reserve drivers. While Drugovich was the public-facing stand-in, multiple insiders claim that Stoffel Vandoorne was the preferred option. Why? Experience. Vandoorne not only brings Formula E wins, but his prior F1 seat time with McLaren gives him a solid edge under pressure. So why wasn't he flown in immediately? Le Mans, timing, and yes, insurance logistics. If Stroll had been ruled out just hours earlier, the FIA window to swap drivers would have remained open. But as it was, Aston Martin had no legal leeway.
And here's where things get truly strange. A rumor, never confirmed but widely discussed, was that Aston Martin quietly contacted Valtteri Bottas' management as a pure emergency option. Far-fetched? Maybe. But Bottas' long-standing ties to Mercedes and Aston Martin's engine deal with them make the theory not impossible. It never materialized, but it tells you how close Aston Martin came to scrambling. Now that Stroll is back, how does this affect team dynamics? Fernando Alonso has remained diplomatically silent, but sources close to the paddock say he was ready to carry the full load again in Montreal. Still, having both cars running gives Aston Martin a real chance to maximize development feedback, experiment with setups, and push hard for a podium if reliability holds. In terms of fan response, massive applause. Canadians are thrilled to see their home hero back on track. Sponsors too. Whether you're looking at Cognizant, Aramco, or Peroni, a full driver lineup is essential for brand optics, especially on home soil. And for Lance Stroll, this is a critical moment. Every investor, partner, and stakeholder will be watching Lance's performance closely. So what does this mean for the rest of 2025? If Stroll can stay healthy and deliver solid points, Aston Martin may salvage their momentum. But if injuries return, or if inconsistencies plague the car, questions about backup readiness and even long-term lineups will return fast. One thing's for sure, Montreal is more than just a race this year. It's a crossroad. You've been watching Fuel Up Daily. If this deep dive got your engines running, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next chapter in F1 is always just a turn away. Thanks for fueling up with us. See you on the grid.